Hello. So, I just came back from our second day at Profit Point, and I finished the homework assignment of meeting some people. I had dinner with 3 people. We all got to know each other. I met with, what was her name? I met with Daniel, Kelly, and Eden. All phenomenal students. First things first, I have to stop saying in this video. Joel, I was going to send you a video yesterday concerning why you need to do another Profit Point. I couldn't send it to you. In a matter of 3 minutes, I said 27 times. So I threw out the video, no good. If I say again, past this point, count them. Mark them down. Say something to me. Yell at me. Do something. But that's the first thing. I have to cut out from my vocabulary. It's no longer in there. So here it goes. When I sat at dinner, we had our 20 minutes of speaking. I said some beautiful things. All of my wording came out beautifully structured. I said them eloquently. Everything had continuity, everything flowed, and I'm going to see if I can replicate it right now. So, I facilitate, excite, and nurture school systems while enlivening students. And trying to think what I want to talk on now. It came out so naturally at dinner. I forget where I even began, really. So, I facilitate, I excite, and I nurture school systems. And I enliven students. I guess I'll start with why I do that. Where it began, where it was conceived. So the first place that I really honed in on what I want to do inside of the school systems was on high school graduation day, when I graduated with a class of over 3,000 people, and I realized after we had graduated that over 2,500 of the people that I had graduated with, so many students were already dead. And it was terrifying. As far as they knew, their plan was go to college, hope to God that they get a degree that people are looking for, begin working, earn a decent amount of money, enough to live, and hopefully retire. That was just about everyone's plan. And college was their only out. That was it. And of course it made sense to, when you're 18, go spend $150,000 in education that will be obsolete in a couple of years. To me, this blew my mind. The fact that students were walking around this disconnected from their own lives, that they were relying on a piece of paper. It was depressing. I couldn't handle it. It was terrifying. 3 of my closest friends realized that they're dead. And I knew that it needed to stop immediately. I have so much more in my life as far as fulfillment, direction, passion, excitement. I have so many more things that aren't offered in education that I just knew I needed to get something into public education. So what I do is I facilitate, I excite, and I nurture education systems. And there we go. I'm looking for my notes from the day. Let's see if maybe I can just jog my memory. Some of my revelations that I've had. The point is, what I've developed is a training system for teachers, for students, and for administrators inside of schools. I'm very clear that any teacher who walks inside of an education system, they want to help students. They want to make a difference. They want to have an influence. They want to excite their students. They want to teach their students in a way where their students are actually excited by what's going on inside of the classrooms. That's how just about every teacher enters the education system. I'm very clear on that. And somehow it gets lost in translation. I'm not sure where between the extra curriculum that they have to meet, the teacher evaluations that they have, I'm not sure exactly where it gets lost. The need to buy your own materials and it digs into your own wallet. I'm not sure where teachers get shut down, but eventually they lose sight of why they began teaching. And so my job has become to realign what they want to do inside of the education system. What I've created is a system of 10 steps. I know you're a fan of 3. Actually, that's not true. I've created 3 steps. I have my 3 words: activate, accelerate, and achieve. I activate the student-teacher relationship. I accelerate the student's ability to learn by developing their own passion, and I achieve in giving them a lifetime of happiness and fulfillment. And hopefully what comes along with it is the ability to never have to worry about money in their lifetime, because they become value generators. So I do have 10 core lessons, though. And the really beautiful thing is, that's all it takes. It takes 10 lessons that I personally deliver to the students, and all that happens past that is the teachers have to reinforce. I don't add anything to their lesson plans. I don't encumber their day with more material to teach. They're already busy enough. There's no reason for me to be adding more curriculum. I'm not a curriculum developer. I don't know how to develop curriculum. I'm not an educator. I haven't studied to have the licenses to be an educator. But I do know what works, and I do know what brings fulfillment, and I do know what brings happiness in people's lives. I know what I've done to generate my own happiness and my own level of success. I know what I've done to chase down the jobs that I've been through and the jobs that I'm getting. I just got hired for a new sales job. I'm excited to kill it. It's going to be amazing. But I make it very clear. All it takes is 10 lessons, and you can become the most effective teacher that you've ever dreamt yourself being. That's all it takes. Won't encumber your day, will not add lesson plans. You do not need to take time away from your lessons. It's just a simple difference. It's a pivot in how you speak to your students and how you breathe life into them. in what you say day to day that reinforces the lessons that I deliver personally in what I call pep talks and pep rallies. The name of the business is the Palace Education Project. So you get pep talks and pep rallies. And then you get teacher trainings and private teacher tutorings along with it if the teachers decide to invest. And so what I realized, the reason I put together these 10 lessons is when I got to the end of high school, about junior year, I came to your Passion to Profit course, and I worked on some relationships business, and I tried to be a relationship guru. Didn't work out too well, but I tried. And I know I'm good with relationships, but I had no idea how to manage a business around relationships, especially at the age of 16, 17. No one was going to take my word for it that I had been through enough relationships in my life that I know how to fix theirs. So I left that behind. I hadn't proven myself. I didn't represent credibility, so I left it behind. It was a waste of my time, and that's okay. The one thing I did carry away from that, though, is that I do love working on relationships. And I learned that with this new project that I'm entering, I still get to work on relationships. I get to work on the student-teacher relationship. I get to work on the student's relationship with themselves. If the teacher can relate to the student, then the student is then allowed to relate to themselves, and that's what I'm after. And the key component that I noticed was missing throughout all of education. Students are handed these great lesson plans. They're given all this information, all of these materials to learn from. In certain parts of the country, they're given the best teachers. I was in one of the top 10 ranked public high schools across all of America. And everyone was still a zombie walking out of graduation. So, what was missing? The only thing that I really saw that was missing is students being engaged in their own lives. Students were so bored with what they were up to. Learning had become such a burden. It had become such a painful process. That's what schools have made it at this point. Learning is a painful, tedious, energy-draining process that steals your sleep and stresses you out. It kills you. Learning kills you at this point. And there was proof. By the end of graduation, people were dead. Not literally, mentally, checked out. Didn't care about what went on in their lives, as long as some paycheck came in to live the life that they were hoping that they could live, even though they won't even have the time to enjoy what they're up to. The time to enjoy what they wish they were up to. So what was missing? Passion. Interest. That's all it is. My job inside of the educational systems is to generate passion. I just want kids to love what they're up to. If you put a child with curiosity down in front of a textbook, say this kid wants to be a scientist, you put him in front of a math book, he'll find something to be interested in. Let him flip through the pages. He'll find something. Students will learn if they're interested in themselves. Morale in the classroom will go up. Teachers will finally be happy and fulfilled in what they signed on to do so many years ago. I just want students to be interested in themselves. That's it. I have 10 core lessons. That's all it takes to have the students inside of a school system become elite, to where you can't stop them and they can't stop themselves. They can't help it. They can't help but be dynamic and follow their dreams and generate value. I have 10 core lessons. I didn't come up with them. I'm not a super genius. I learned them from other sources. As I grew up, I was blessed with parents that put me through non-traditional education. They were clear from when I was very young that they would not be enough to raise me alone. They needed help. And I was blessed that they had that wisdom, because they sent me to non-traditional education that allowed me to generate myself, to develop myself to where I'm a functioning human. It doesn't happen with a lot of students nowadays. Everyone says they want to learn how to write a check out of high school. It takes 5 seconds to learn how to write a check. That's not what they're after. They want the scope to be able to chase down what they want. So 10 lessons. That's all it takes. I have them mapped out. It takes 4 days of training for the teachers. It takes 5 assemblies for the students. All that happens is that the teachers reinforce the lessons as the year goes on. Pep rallies are done in a large room, large audience, more interactive, a little bit more hype, a little bit more motivational. The pep talks are a little bit more intimate inside the classroom, really getting to know the students. And it's third party inside of schools, and I want it inside of every school inside of America. The lessons and the core lessons that I teach inside of this, they've been around for thousands of years. And they're taught in today's schools, not in public schools. Private schools? Yes. Charter schools? Yes. Alternative schools? Yes. Private programs? Different seminars outside of classrooms? Yes. You can learn this material. It's out there. At a price. That's where I come in. I'm taking the lessons that allow you to develop yourself as a human, as a functioning human. I'm taking those lessons and just bringing them to the education system, the public education system, at a price that cannot be beat. That's all that I'm up to. I don't know how many times I just said, I don't know how eloquently those things all came out. I don't know if the message was clear. So, thank you for taking the time to watch up until this point, but I'm not quite done. Give me another 2 minutes, because I want to go over what I was so concerned about on the first day. I just came onto a new sales job. I'm going to be on trade floors. I'm going to be driving from body shop to body shop. I work in PBE, parts body equipment, which is in the automotive industry, the auto body industry. So, I'm going to be honing in my sales skills for the next 1 to 2 years, and then become real fast. You'll see. And especially with your help. Can't forget to give credit to you. Thank you for everything that you're giving to me, really. What I'm learning in this Passion to Profit will skyrocket what I'm able to do in this new sales job. But I need to prove myself. I need to do my due diligence. That's key. Can't skip out on it. Don't want anyone calling me out in the future for never having proven my success before I go teach success to other students. I need to hone in on my sales skills and become a success elsewhere before I launch my own thing. That's going to take 1 to 2 years to become a serious buzz inside of the sales world. I'll have a website for my book up. I did write a book on education, grade inflation, and student engagement. The book's written. I can put up a website, great. I can make passive income. That's not the main project. I can make a video series to do online coaching that people can sign up, start working on their teaching methods. Great. I can work on that. That can be passive income. But I won't launch my project, the full Palace Education project, that will not get launched until about 1.5 years, 2 years from this date. I just can't do it yet. So, if you could consider your big heart of yours that I know you have, try to do another profitable in 2 years. a second revamp. I'm going to need a second shot at Profit Point, just because I'm going to want to reposition myself with my educational tools. I'll already be a buzz inside of the education community. I'm going to launch a book. I'll have a video series out. I may even do some private teacher tutoring to work one-on-one with the teacher and take that one student, that one teacher that I know needs help, like that yoga teacher helped that veteran. I'll find a teacher that needs help, and I'll work with them. And I will make their classroom successful, and they will be thrilled at the results. I may do that in the next 2 years. But I won't launch the full project, and that's what I'm going to need a second Profit Point for. So, do with that what you will. Thank you so much for listening to this, and I will see you tomorrow morning. Good night.